Here we go. We're live. So welcome everybody. This is Right Time, and it's a time to blab about story and writing and working with words. So I'm going to open up a seat here and see. Anybody want to hop in and talk about stuff? Anyway, while we're waiting for someone to hop in, my name is Zara Altair, and I work as a story bodyguard, helping people with story, and also work with book formatting for authors who want to get their books online for ebooks. I'm Orpheus said I attempted to write movie things once. It's a very challenging. It's a very challenging medium. It's very pared down, very pared down. I've had three full-length scripts that were commissioned, and one is in pre-production. I'm not sure about the others. I don't know if you know about the movie world, but lots of times scripts are purchased, but they never get produced. So that's another, it's a crazy world. It is a totally crazy world, script writing. And then there's the formatting of it all. Anyway, there's an open seat if somebody wants to hop in and talk about writing or talk about the current story you have. I'm Orpheus, why don't you hop in and tell us what you do with your students? You can also tell us, oh, finish breakfast. Okay, cool. All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. So Morpheus is going to jump in a few minutes. Anyone else want to jump in and blab away? So, Juanita, why don't you hop in and tell us what you do? Writers are so shy. That's why I'm doing this experiment. There's so many blab sessions where people are like, whoa, hundreds of them, and they're all talking. And, you know, writers like to write, and not all of them are comfortable. Not all of them are comfortable speaking. And I know I'm working with a couple of writers now, one in particular on pitching story and pitching scripts, as a matter of fact. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard, one, to speak. It's hard, two, to get your story down into, it's hard to get your story down into a very concise format, also known as the pitch, sometimes called the log line. The log line is just the beginning of the pitch. If you have any questions about what any of those things are, just pop something in the chat, and I'll see if I can answer them for you. And Juanita, yeah, this is very focused. So that's another thing about this Blab. That's why it's an experiment. It's pretty much focused on writing, and a lot of people who are on Blab are there just to chat and communicate, which is cool and is fun. But I thought we'd give this one a special focus. This is the third time I've done it, and I'm really happy to see a lot of people here. I'm Morpheus. Yeah, why don't you hop into the seat? I'm Morpheus, if you're finished with breakfast, and then we can chat about your story idea. And Juanita wants to know, how would you start an ebook? Well, I'd start with the concept and outline it. Is that what you mean? Is it an ebook of story? Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what you do. It's mainly the story writing process. Hi, Eileen. Sweet of you to be here. Thank you so much for the good wishes. You're such a Blab girl. I love it. And thank you for stopping by. We're talking story here. Anyway, to get back to the ebook, um, the ebook is pretty much story process. Story process for me is the concept and then kind of a vague outline. I've discovered, oh, Tim, all right, you're here. That's cool. Um, can you see the seat? Can you hop in? Anyway, I want to finish about the ebook. So you do all that, and I don't know if you have Scrivener or not. That's a great help in creating. You can add chapters and things like that, um, and and essentially write your book once you have the outline. Now, my experience is, because I have a loose outline, that as I write, what happens sort of changes. I have a basic idea, but it changes as I go. But I do like to have the overall vision, especially with story, because you're going to be setting up at the beginning some key elements of your story that are going to come up later, and it's a lot easier to set them up at the beginning than go, oh, this happens later in this story, so I've got to go back and find the places where I can plant the seeds. That at least is my experience. Oh, you're welcome. And just any more questions about that? Juanita, what is your book idea about right now? It's a business related one. Yeah, the process is pretty much the same. It's a little more structured. I would, even before I started writing, I would have the overall concept and break it down into the key elements, and then list your chapters and what you're going to cover in the chapters. Because what you're doing from a business perspective when you're writing a business book is you're leading your reader through the steps to accomplish, okay, social media reputation. And so you want to walk them through those steps. And here's a great book on social media reputation, just came out by David Amerland, The Tribe That Discovered Trust. So you may want to check that out. There are lots of good and bad stories, and they are great for illustrations. All right. Thanks so much for your questions, Juanita. Tim, can you see the seat and hop in? If any, I'm not sure Eileen is still here, but if any of you like hanging out on Blab, she's a great person to follow. She's just everywhere. And also Juanita, she's very into social media. So toasting bread, I'm Morpheus. What else are you having for breakfast? And where are you? you Tokyo. Okay. Thanks so much for joining us. And Juanita, if you want to talk any more about it as you get further along, just be sure to get in touch with me. Hi, Blakeney. Is that what I should call you? Um, Blakeney, what to do with your finished product? Is that a story? Jen. All right, we'll call you Jen. All right. So Jen has a question, and her question is, do you have any advice on what to do with a finished product as far as getting it published? Yes, a book. Okay. And is it a story or is it a business book like Juanita's? You can hop into the open seat and we can talk. Okay. All right. There are a lot of self-help and devotional books out there. And so you want to be clear in your message. I don't know if you were here when we were talking about pitching and just, oh, you're on your phone. All right, thanks. About pitching, but you want to get, I would suggest that's okay, late is good as you're here. I would suggest writing for yourself a one-page description of the book and how it solves problems for other people. What is the focus of your self-help? What are the steps that people will discover in your book and how that will change their life? That's kind of, without knowing more about the book, that's kind of the basic. And once you have that one page written, it's a lot easier then to identify if you're looking for publishers and you're not going to publish yourself. It's a lot easier to identify agents who might represent your book once you have the key elements of your book and what it will do for the audience, because I think everybody knows that in this day and age, marketing is a huge portion of being a published writer. And so the next step I would suggest is to outline a basic marketing plan, because now when you go to look for an agent, they want to know your marketing plan along with what is in your book and how your topic of your book meets the goals of their particular interest. Did that help? Okay, good. And same thing, if you have any more questions, you can always get in touch with me here in the world. I'm on Google Plus, I'm on Facebook. The Story Bodyguard has a separate Facebook page, so it's pretty easy to get in touch with me. Any more questions while Morpheus is finishing breakfast? It is. Morpheus. Morpheus says, so you not only have to be a good writer, yes, you have to be versed in business and marketing. That sounds rough. Yes. I remember the first time I talked to an agent about a second book, he told me, this was a long time ago, this must have been in the 80s, and he was the first one to tell me this. He said, I don't accept people unless they have a marketing plan. It was a huge awakening. And at that time, there was no social media. A marketing plan really involved a huge amount of money. Okay, we had somebody in, but they left. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Kevin, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. You're back here with the writing group again. How are you this week?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I talked to what is it? Oh my God, I forgot her name.
Eileen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. Thanks for. I have very short memory, so.
that's okay. Yeah, Eileen is fabulous, and she's so
And
much
she's
fun.
so good.
She is. She's just fabulous.
I know, and she works in Manhattan, somewhere in 51st Street, and I know where it is.
Right.
I know where it is.
Right.
And where is everybody?
Oh, everybody, they're all shy writers, so they're commenting, but they're not hopping in.
Which is, I don't know, they'd rather comment than not
So
just
we're
join the
having
2
a
seats.
strange blab where like people are asking questions in the comment stream and then I'm answering them, but you're the first person to actually hop in and
That's what I do. I don't comment a lot. I like to hop in and get my voice.
yeah, I know. So how's DJing these days?
Oh, it's great. I just have to, because recently I deleted my 14,000. I still remember some of the artists because I can just go to my Spotify and then re-add them, because most of the files are not working. So that's why I have to delete it and then start a new connection. Start fresh again.
Starting fresh again is sometimes good, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
Like
it's like
like
all those
this
ideas
Wednesday,
come out in a different way.
this Wednesday I'm going on a swimming tournament.
Oh
And
wow, okay.
yeah, and the first week we get back, we didn't start until like 3 weeks into the school, but then I came so far. Like, you have to put a lot of effort because I haven't worked out like in a year, ever since last year.
Oh yeah,
Now I'm starting to get back into the swing of things.
swimming is a challenge to your whole body.
Oh yes, definitely. And if you drink a lot of water, it doesn't cramp you up as that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it
You
just
know what,
follows really
Kevin,
good.
I'm going to bump you out so we can get back to talking about writing.
Okay.
Oh, but it's good to see you again, and thanks for stopping by.
All right. Follow me back on Twitter.
At CCC. Okay, I'm Morpheus or Yusef. There you are. All right.
Wait, 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 wait. I have to come back. Hold on. I'm just going to recycle my.
It's hard to hear you. Whoops, you disappeared. Okay, we're trying again.
And there we are. Hi.
There you are. Hi, good morning.
So I have like maybe 15 minutes before I have to run up to my first lesson. I love writers. I actually loved writing in high school.
Uh-huh.
I had one of those English teachers that would bleed on my paper.
Yeah.
The bloodletting. Ooh.
You know, I think that happens to a lot of writers. We had a writer who here earlier who's not here right now. But I know that, you know, grammar and spelling are all editing. That's editing. I was a poet in the schools for many years in California, and I worked with children. And I would go into the classroom and we'd say, you know, writing is about connecting your heart and your mind and bringing it out in words. So don't worry about punctuation or spelling or any of those things. You know, write what you have to say, because you can always go back and fix all that stuff later. And the teachers, because I'm in the classroom in the school, and the teachers are like, oh, we're just learning about commas or whatever it was. And I said, cool, we'll get to them later. Right now we're writing, you know, and
get it out on paper first.
Exactly.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us about your screenwriting experience that didn't happen.
Before that, I'm from LA.
Uh-huh. Oh, you're from LA. All right.
And I went to school in I attended high school at Grant High, Ulysses S. Grant. Are you aware of that school at all?
Yep.
Yeah. And okay, so this is my idea. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to post it.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Okay.
Because Jen says writers are not always editors, and that is so true. And I think all writers need to not worry about the editing until later. As a matter of fact, if you're concentrating on the spelling and all that stuff while you're writing, it can stop the flow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're putting too
Okay.
much energy into other stuff. Okay, so here's the idea.
Now you're going to read to us.
Okay. This is one of the early ideas. An American precision driver performing in China becomes romantically attached to and impregnated by a renegade drug runner who is posing as a tour guide. Unbeknownst to the driver, the drug runner has been borrowing the driver's backup vehicles to make deliveries.
Uh-oh.
That's my story. That's as far as I can. That's as far as I ever get. That's as far as I ever get. I would love for someone to take this and make it into a movie or a book or a story or interactive fiction game. I have at least 6 of these bizarre ideas rattling around on my computer.
Yeah, well, I think part of it is taking one of those ideas, and I wrote a blog post a long time ago. A story idea is not a plot, and that's right where you're stuck. You know, it's like, you know, you've got the idea, you've got the characters, and now, but I think and now you need to have the whole story. But I think what happens when you really start, if you sit down and start writing the story, doesn't matter if you're going to take stuff out later, just start writing the story, because one of the amazing things that happens when you're writing a story is that the characters start talking to each other and say things you think you never would have thought of. Because the characters just like, they do something or they say something and you're like, whoa, you know, where did that come from? But I think that if you just, you know, sat down and started writing the story, that those characters have a dynamic, right? Right away, there's a dynamic with those characters. So you know that they're going to have lots of stuff to say to each other and lots of things to do physically, you know, like, you know, what they call in screenwriting the action part, you know. Mm-hmm. And so I think if you just took one of those story ideas, and that one's a great one, you know, and here are these two, you know, seemingly totally opposed, you know, people, and one has a big secret that the other one doesn't know about, man, you've got a lot of stuff to work with. So I think, you know, for you, you know, just getting in there and starting this story is really going to, one, teach you a lot about writing and listening to the characters, because they do tell you stuff. And two, getting a story through the beginning, the middle, and the end. Because
we have to run the character up the tree. Well, first they have to establish who the character is, right?
Yeah.
Run him up the tree, then throw rocks at him down the tree, right?
Right. So you gotta go along on the journey and see what those characters have to say and do, and write that all down. And I think maybe, you know, maybe for now, if screenwriting, you know, was something that was super challenging for you, maybe just do it in narrative fiction style, you know, narrative fiction, which is just like writing a story.
Okay.
You know, just write the effing story. Don't worry about formatting and all that stuff, you know.
Right. So I'm also really, I also enjoy interactive fiction games.
Yeah, they're fun. I'm doing one right now. It's my very first one, and I am having a blast. I'm just having a blast, you know, because that is a really good discipline. And what I'm finding is, because it's based on choices, right?
Yeah.
It's choice, 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 and then that story goes that way. And then choice 2, the story goes that way, and choice 3, the story goes that way. But then you have to keep bringing it back to keep the whole story going. It's a really interesting. Wow, I'm just really having fun with it.
Are you using a system called Choice of Games?
I actually I'm working with a programmer.
Mhm.
The programmer wants me to write the story, and then she's going to do all of that. And I think she might be using Choice of Games.
Oh, I I love you.
Are you?
I love Choice of Games. Um, oh, it is a fantastic system.
It
It
is. All right. So you might even think about, how that choice making goes when you're writing your narrative fiction about those two characters. Because every time somebody does something or says something, there isn't just one choice that that other character has. And that as long as you keep that in your head, that the character has more than one choice, you really get to start playing with the story. Because a lot of story creation is play. Play and story are so intertwined. They're just so intertwined. I have a 4.5-year-old granddaughter who loves story, and she's always making up stories. And then she gets all of us to be part of the story as it happens. And then she changes the rules right in the middle. So now we all have to do something else or be something else or something. And so it's like game theory through a 4-year-old's head.
and the rules can change at any time.
Yeah, Jen has to go. She's got low battery.
Yeah,
Jen, thank you so much for being here, and stay in touch. Okay,
I
thanks so much.
really want to talk more. I've got to finish my breakfast, get some coffee into me, and then I have to head
Oh,
out.
this was a non-coffee conversation.
Yeah, you should see me on coffee.
Oh.
I am so happy you're using Choice of Games. Let me know when your game is out, or if you need a alpha or beta player. I'm there.
Oh, really? Okay, great. It's fun. It's targeted toward young adults, but I definitely will let you know.
I
So,
My body may be 48 years old, but mentally I'm still about 6 or 7.
yeah, I think that's true for all of us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really do. It helps us stay young and alive and active, and that, your imagination is always going. It's just always,
Always.
churning stuff. That's why, I think the transition from having those story ideas, because I think we all get them like 3 a day minimum, right? What
Easily,
if?
easily.
Hmm, you know, so you get the what if, but then you have to make these. It's just like gaming. You have to make a choice. Okay, this is the one I picked that I'm actually going to spend my energy on, and I'm going to work it through from the beginning to the end. And yeah, that's the hard part. That is the challenging
You're
part.
like, I have to cut this bit out, but with interactive fiction, it's like we can do all of
We
them.
can do all of it. I know it is. It's just wild.
Can I
Anyway, thank
recommend
you so much for taking time out from your
before I
breakfast
go?
to join us.
Can I recommend one of the Choice of Games?
Yeah, go for it.
There's one called Robots, and I think it's the best one. I have played it at least 15 times.
Okay, robots, choice of games, robots. And, I actually thank you, Imorpheus, for bringing that up because and now that I'm into it, um, I really recommend doing some text games to get your head going with how choices expand your story. So thank you, Imorpheus. That was a
You're more than
totally
welcome.
cool idea. And thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. I'm gonna post a link to Choice of Games for you.
Oh, thank you.
This is my favorite one. I highly recommend it. All right, I have to go.
Okay, cool. Thanks
I will
very
talk to you
much.
later. You're welcome.
All right.
Bye.
Ciao. All right. Anyone else want to hop in? Okay, so I want to thank everybody for being here today, and this was really fun. I love talking about story. So be sure to follow me, and you can follow the Story Bodyguard. I'm on WordPress. That one's been around since 2010 or something. And also I have a blogger blog, thestorybodyguard.com. So there's stuff there also about story and working with story. And if you have any specific questions, feel free to get in touch. And thank you everybody for being here. And I'm going to keep doing this. This was really fun. All right. And don't forget, tell your writer friends to join us. And I'll see you next week. All right. Thanks so much.